On.
Hello, and welcome back to Common Sense for Relationships. It's wonderful to have you here with us this evening, and I would like to say a big welcome to Michelle. Hi, Michelle. Thanks for joining us all the way from Canada. Woohoo! Thanks so much, Michelle. Hi, Debbie. I see you. Hi, Mia. Yes, it's so good to have you online. And as we wait for the others to come in, I'd just like to remind you this is Common Sense for Relationships. And on this channel, we bring you valuable information, as in practical information, applicable information to help you make better decisions in your life and in your relationships. Yes, so last week we had fun talking about a number of issues, and we decided to look at the workbook of husband material. If you haven't read husband material yet, you're missing something. There's a book and there's a workbook. Yes. And last week we talked about the first frame in the workbook, which is know thyself. So just in case you missed it, I encourage you to go back and watch the video from last week, where you get to see why it is so important for you to know yourself before you even begin to talk about knowing somebody else, or screening somebody else, or finding out about somebody else to be a partner as you go through this journey of life. Okay. All right, so this week we have an interesting topic, and if you are one of those who gets my post before the YouTube live, I mean, if I have your WhatsApp contact, you would have seen the topic. It's quite an interesting one, and we called it Breakfast and Valentine. I'm sure you're wondering, what are we talking about? Sausage roll? Are we talking about pancake with something nice, maybe maple syrup, or my favorite, which is Aunt Jemima? Yes, what are we really talking about? Yeah, it's important. But hey, it's not food. And just in case you don't know, you'll soon find out what breakfast is. Okay. So yes, welcome once again, everyone. And I would like to encourage you, if you're online already, please go ahead and share the link with other people so that they can know this live is on and they can join us. So please go ahead and share with your friends, share on Facebook, share on Instagram, share on Twitter, share on wherever you can share on your WhatsApp status, and let people join this discussion. Yes. And it's also a good time to say, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, please do so. Because when you do so, you'll be one of the first to know anytime we put out content. Yes. Okay. So, breakfast and Valentine. What is this really about? Okay. So, the first time I heard someone say breakfast in relation to, we're just having a discussion. I talked about breakfast and I was just thinking, okay, what has breakfast got to do with this? Only for me to find out that there's an interesting meaning, does anyone know? Debbie, do you know? Does anyone know what breakfast means when we're talking about relationships? If you do, please just feel free to type it in the chat. Yes, breakfast. Why did we even come about? As in, who came up with this name? Who tried to change something that is so fundamental and well known by everybody, and then just pick it up and use it as a slang to talk about something that has to do with relationships? I don't know who did that, but what's breakfast? Okay. So while I wait for comments on that issue, breakfast is simply, drum roll, heartbreak. Yes, heartbreak. So, if your heart has ever been broken, someone easily put it in today's context to say you've been served. You've been served breakfast. You have been given breakfast, and they could even tease about how did you get it? How was it served? Was it served hot or cold? Was it served virtual or real time? Like did the person come to you to serve it? Because I mean, these days people serve breakfast in different ways, right? Once upon a time, if you were breaking up with someone, you would meet the person face to face and tell them upfront, look, this thing is not working. We want to go. Hi, Aki, I see you also. Hi, my sister is on the call. Hi, welcome. Yes. So people would actually call and say, would actually visit or schedule an appointment and look at each other in the face and say, this thing is not working. I'm not doing this anymore, and so on and so forth. And then they would go their way. But these days, we have all kinds of methods of serving breakfast, from those who will actually do the old-fashioned way and come and see you and tell you, to those who will send someone to tell you, to those who will send you a message to tell you, to those who will send you a chat, a text. You just wake up one morning, pick up your phone, and instead of saying the usual, oh sweetheart, oh darling, oh what did you, how was your night, and all those nice and pleasant things, you're saying it's over and I'm out of here. Not doing this no more. You know what? I'm done with you. I don't know how they put it this way these days. Yeah, but some people send it via text message. Hi Timora, I see you. Jamoski, nice to be here. Yes, I'm so happy you're here. Thank you for joining us. And Timora, thanks a lot. It's good to be here again. Yes, we're glad you're here. Thank you, everyone. And please remember to share with others so more people can join this discussion. Yes. So breakfast, really important. And for something that is so serious, you would think that people would know, okay, this is serious. This is, and you know why I say it's serious? It's serious, because this thing that we're looking at, like, oh, it's just a heartbreak, or it's just after all, it was just a discussion or a communication on the fact that we're not doing this anymore. Why? The fact is, it can cause so much trouble. It can lead to so much trauma. It can really break hearts. That's why they call it heartbreak, because hearts can really break. Maybe not literally, but it could almost feel as if, and when you talk about the heart, it's such an important organ in the body. And for it to be broken, it's just a connotation, just trying to say, this thing feels like it's messing up my whole life. It feels like my world is falling apart. It feels like things are crumbling all around me. In fact, some people feel like there's no reason to live anymore. My heart is broken right now. In fact, have you seen the pictures and some of the videos on social media where they show guys that just suffered a heartbreak? It's hilarious. You see some of them sitting down wailing like, oh, somebody just died or something. And someone said for them to be crying like that, they must have given too much. And you wonder, what could they have given so much or too much, and because most of the time guys are not seen to be those who really love all the way. It's mostly ladies that are seen to be people that love with their whole hearts and get into trouble for doing that sometimes. Kingsley Effiong says breakup is a national cake because so many people are getting served, right, turn by turn. Eventually it will reach, well, let's not say to reach everyone, because I'm sure that those who are doing certain things to prevent them from getting served breakfast. So I guess those are some of the things that we are going to look at today. Yes, so it's it can be really traumatic, and everyone needs to, I think, treat it with that level of seriousness. Even when you are actually working out on a relationship, try to be civil about it, and go at it in such a way that you do not, it's okay that you're walking away. You don't have to make the person feel like crap while you're walking away. I mean, it's okay for you to tell me, you know what, this relationship isn't going to work. I don't think we're meant for each other. And I say, okay, and you move on, I move on. But it's a whole other thing for you to, maybe because you know certain things about me, now decide you're going to throw them right back in my face because you've gotten to know about maybe my weaknesses and places where I'm not doing so well as a person. You now come and start reading out the bill to me. Debbie says breakfast with no explanation. That's even worse. You know. So, but just say you can't do it anymore, and give it. You know how they say when you're giving constructive criticism, let's just try to be nice, guys. Come on. Why do we always have to break people when we are trying to walk away from them? You don't have to break people. You can just go. You can just leave. You don't have to scatter the whole place. You don't have to turn their world literally upside down. You can just leave. You don't have to tell them, you know what, you're too dumb, you make too many mistakes, you're too slow, you can't keep up with me, where I'm going, you can't measure up, and you say all of those things and you walk away and you destroy the person's self-esteem, make them feel so worthless, and you walk away. That's not nice. That's probably going to be somebody's wife or somebody's husband in future. So you can at least be nice. Just imagine you were the one. How would you like someone to treat you if they were breaking up with you? And be that nice and be that kind to the person you are going to break up with. Somebody is doing elbow cuff for me. SB, I see you. It's important. There's just that general thing about kindness and niceness. I mean, do unto others what you have them do to you. It's simple. It's just really simple. Love your neighbor as yourself. It's really simple. It applies in everything. Okay. So yes. So it's important to know that breakups will happen more often than not, or maybe not all the time. But the what I'm trying to say is that there is the likelihood. So when you're in a relationship, know that it is likely that you will suffer a breakup. Okay. And if that happens, don't be surprised. So prepare in advance. All right. So welcome again, everyone. And please just go ahead. A reminder, share the links with your friends so that they can join us. Okay. So this issue is very serious. And at this point, I'm going to invite Mr. Bature, my husband, Kingsley, to the studio to join and share with us some of his thoughts. You can see he looks like someone that has been served lately. Or somebody that wants to revenge on behalf of somebody.
Yes, on behalf of somebody that has been. See, Baby, this thing you are laughing about. There's somebody I know very close to me. Last week, he was served. I said, Omo, Valentine is coming. Why do you always have to serve breakfast very close to Valentine? Ladies, what's the issue? See, my guy was served. If you see the humility that entered this guy, as in the humility was, suddenly the guy began to work very efficiently. Because he was humble all over the place. I was wondering, did he get born again? But this guy used to speak in tongues. So it couldn't have been salvation. By the time I found out, my brother was served. And the one that paid me personally was served by text message. Ladies, come on now. I mean, be nice. Be nice. How do you serve a guy by text message? As in the humility that caught that guy, it was a very humbling situation. And you know, the other part again, the other part also is that guys like to do their own close to Valentine for two reasons.
It's obvious. Wait, let me tell you. So that they won't have to buy Valentine presents.
You get it. You get it now.
So they don't have to spend money and take anybody out.
Yes. The other reason is so that at least if you end the other one now, you have the opportunity to get a new catch.
Just before
Valentine. So you can get, so instead of spending the small cash that you have on old goods, you spend it on new catch.
Okay. So I guess that would be for people who were not in that relationship for the long term anyway. They were just catching their fun or something. I see what Jimoski says. He says, some don't understand the language. I know do again when you are kind. You know, I was saying be kind. Jimoski is saying some people don't understand kindness. So when you're saying I'm not doing this anymore, but you're saying it kindly, they won't understand. They'll think, okay, maybe she's just joking.
But,
you know.
but somebody's appreciating my scorecard. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
My brother is scorecard for me.
Yes. It's rehearsal. In case you don't know, if you're watching this show, we have a singles event tomorrow. It's called Live Wire Boy Meets Girl. So,
yes.
I'm a young boy. So I'm trying to rehearse how the youngness is going to pass. So that's the reason for the scorecard. Thank you. You have to go from up down.
Other plans, so like starting from up. So by tomorrow, there will be other manifestations around this.
But we don't let the cat out of the bag.
I'm just saying. So people watch
just
out.
In case you're watching, the dress code is swag on. Don't come with coat and tie. We don't want. There'll be bouncers at the door. Right? No coat and tie. Sorry, is this suit they call it now?
Wait. Before you say too much, somebody's going to catch you now. Ugo Nwachuku says, I can't remember celebrating Valentine except once with my wife. Laugh out loud. So Ugo, I'm thinking that you're not the person in that boat too. Because I was telling my husband earlier today that I can't actually remember any Valentine celebration. If there's one, please remind me.
So she's trying to say that I'm not doing well. No. What are you saying now? Are you saying that I'm not doing well, or you are saying that I'm not celebrating Valentine well? No. Bring it out. Let's be real. Let's be real.
It's one of the second one, but please help me just in case I forgot.
You didn't remember that one where I sent you rose?
I remember a rose. Was it Valentine?
It was Valentine now.
Are you sure? Or it was just rose. A normal day?
By the way, brothers, rose is 10,000 naira now. Rose, flower. 10,000, one. Yes. Do you understand? And it will die after 3 days, live.
And of course, that was the first and the last time he bought me flowers because I'm not a flowers person. I think Nigerian women are not really into flowers. Or let me not generalize. But in Nigeria, if you find something like those metal strings, a host of them, and then you start wrapping 1,000 naira, plenty, and you create a bouquet.
Somebody's looking. Say 10K for ordinary ugu. It's the ugu for me. No, so that maybe you can also buy it, so that in case the thing begins to die, you quickly cook soup before it dies. You see, but that's one of the ways to deal with heartbreaks, right? You have to remember the good times, right? The memory of the good times, it's what helps you to walk away when things go sour, right? You have to think about there's always the memory of the good times.
Yeah, but
nobody say no go pain, no.
I know now, but that there's sometimes people just, in fact, this place that you have just landed is a good place to start talking to at least address one of the ways that you can deal with heartbreak. Because you are saying remember the good times. But sometimes for you to be able to walk away, especially if you were the one that was served, it's good for you to remember the bad times. Because some people will just sit down and torture themselves with, oh, but he was so nice.
Yes.
Oh, but he was so sweet.
Yes.
Oh, he used to do this for me.
Yes.
Oh, she was that. And then they will cry after each memory. No way, Jose. So instead of doing that, just sit down and start remembering what were all the terrible things about this person.
Baby. That savage method you're teaching people now.
And then, in fact, if possible, just to make sure you can remember it well, be writing it down and go over, meditate upon it. By the time you meditate upon all the terrible things, you will say good riddance to bad rubbish. It's not as if you're trying to paint the person. I didn't say go and tell people all about the person, or tell people how bad the guy was or the lady was. No, I'm saying you by yourself, sit down. You know how you're supposed to count your blessings and thank God for all the things he's done for you. Yes, when you're trying to deal with a breakup, count the person's terrible attributes, name them one by one in that journal or in that book that you are keeping. And go over them and remember them for sure and say, oh, really this person wasn't good for me. I didn't need this kind of person in my future. You need to remind yourself. And even if you can't find so many, find 1 or 2 or 3. Nobody's perfect, okay?
Yeah.
No, the fact is nobody's perfect. So you will find something. Peace says, yes, ma, especially if it was, in fact, if it was toxic, the list is very easy to prepare. She said if it was a toxic relationship. If it was toxic, the list is easy to prepare because you just sit down and say, he was abusive. He was hot-tempered. He was he didn't like my family members. He never spent enough time with me. He was he only came to me whenever he needed something. Just be write it down and go over it, meditate upon it, and tell yourself, truly, this person was not good for me.
Well,
and it will give you enough boldness to walk away, and you won't even be wasting your time for weeks crying or being sad or being useless. Some people, it wrecks them so much that they're not even useful at the office anymore. Because you had a heartbreak. Seriously, get a grip.
Well, there's something. This thing you're saying now, Babi, is good point. But the question in my mind is this one that we're in a season of Valentine. You know, as boyfriend girlfriend be. Well, is it possible to actually avoid breakup in boyfriend girlfriend relationship?
Yeah, it's possible. It's possible. It's possible, but you know, the fact that it's possible is not a guarantee that it will not happen. Do you understand? But they're just things that you can do to protect or more like minimize the chance of it happening. Okay. So, for instance, define your relationship.
Baby, that's a hard one. No,
define your relationship, because you know some people. One person thinks they're going to Jerusalem. The other one thinks they're going to Uyo. You understand?
So wait, Babi. Wait, Babi, this thing you are saying now. Let me explain what I'm hearing in my right ear.
In your right
ear. You are saying two people are in a relationship. And it's possible that in the relationship, it's only one of them that is going somewhere. The other one is just hanging around.
In fact, one is in a relationship. The other one is just passing by. Doesn't even realize there's a relay, talk less of relationship. You know, so this is interesting. Let me see. Ugochukwu says, I as a person, I believe in all possibilities, and that has helped me enough. I have really been served breakfast once, but that was far back, and it was really a horrible experience. I can imagine. I can imagine. Anyway, I know you've gotten over it now and you've moved on with your life, which is fantastic. I decided it will never happen again. And since then, once one talk takes a walk, I walk to correct.
You just walk?
Yes, really. You can't afford to waste your time and emotional energy to struggling with all of these issues. You need to be able to move on quickly. I'm not saying don't cry. I'm not saying don't grieve.
It's the cry for me.
Yeah.
Like that my guy. If not, it was very close. I didn't see the tears, but it must have. If we check his pillow, we should find something.
Yeah, but you need to be able to move on quickly, because your life is important. Your time is your life. You can't afford to waste it just sitting around and throwing a pity party, you know. So I was saying, define the relationship.
We'll get there. We'll get there. But the cocoa for me now. Somebody say, what's the difference between breakup and fatal breakup? I believe it was Timothy that asked the question.
Whenever something is fatal, somebody has died, though.
Hey, Jimoski, this is not nice. Jimoski, come on.
Just book dinner appointment with her and don't show up. Hey! Jimoski.
Oh, but from this conversation this night, you should write a book of how to break up, because we have seen breakup by text.
Jimoski, this one is too harsh now.
No, but is it harsher than at least you booked the appointment? You went,
but you didn't show up.
You didn't show up.
And then I can imagine. If I go down this Jimoski's part, you will tell the person, order whatever you want, I'll be there shortly.
Savage. Savage.
That's terrible.
Timora says, fatal, we just
finish
you. You nearly finished that, my guy, but I was a shoulder to cry on. You know, as a good guy. Good guy, I try to be a shoulder to cry on, to help humanity, you know, and just so, but it's to take it one step at a time. So, Babi, back to where you are, you know, on defining relationships. That's very critical, especially for ladies. So, no, you know why I say for ladies? Because guys have time. Guys have time. From 25 to 45, the guys have time. You see a 45-year-old guy telling you, I still have time. Guys have time. Ladies, you don't got time. So as guys are coming into your life, there has to be definition. There has to be definition of what are we doing, say. See, listen, the reason I'm talking like because I've had experiences. Somebody met me. I said they were going out for 9 years. Is it a master's degree?
No. PhD.
It's a PhD.
2 PhD, sir.
I said you are going. Both of you are going out in a relationship 9 years. Somebody didn't tell somebody what they were doing.
Yeah. So really, how somebody say, how will I know when the relationship is defined? Or how will I know when I need to define it and stuff like that? Well, it's just like this. When you met the person, you people were somewhere, okay? When things, and at that level where you people were, or that place where you people were, there's certain things that are expected. Example, let's say you meet someone in the office. The person is your colleague. So it's expected that you say good morning, you go for meetings together. You may have to have 1 or 2 engagements to discuss stuff that are work related, right? And so on. That it's possible to have conversations that are work related. That's fine, okay? But by the time you start spending a lot of time with this colleague, and then you start hanging out after work, and then going to the movies, and then doing other stuff that are not work related, you have started moving away from colleagues. But the problem is that some people will go ahead with all of these things, meet up during the weekend, have fun, watch movies together, chill out, do stuff, and they're feeling like, oh, we're getting close, we're getting close. Then one person is thinking, oh, we're really close now. I think we are going out or something. And
I think
someone will
is the thinking for me.
Someone will now go somewhere, and then they want to do introduction. They say, oh, this is my colleague, so. And the other person is like, really? Colleague, after everything. So see,
after everything we've been through.
Yes, so you already see that there's a disconnect. One person is reading meaning into all the extra activities, while the other person is still saying we're just colleagues. So when things begin to change, you've gone beyond, if you're students, you've gone beyond sitting in class together and reading together, and then there's now more time apart from books. You need to start checking. Now that things are changing, what are we? Are we still just colleagues, or are we just fellow students, classmates?
AKA, what ship are we inside?
What exactly? Sometimes you have to stop and say, okay, so this thing we're doing, what exactly is it?
Are we still in friendship? Are we in situationship? But you don't know situationship.
I've heard it before.
Situationship is where we are together
in a situation.
You are getting it. You are very sharp. So
when those kinds that they say is
they're just hovering around.
It's the type they say is complicated, but
it's complicated.
It's very difficult to explain.
So
this thing should not be difficult to explain.
Situationship, courtship. Define the relationship.
Define it and let everybody be on the same page, because when there's that disconnect, the risk of somebody breaking up with the other person is higher, because someone will wake up one day, you are expecting the guy to propose, and the guy is telling you, I'm sorry, I was just being your friend because I saw that you were lonely, and I was just
I'm a good human being.
Yeah, I was just doing something nice to my fellow human being. So you're like, what? I didn't need that kind of niceness. Meanwhile, in the process of them being nice like this, they blocked your whole territory. Nobody else is approaching you.
Baby, this one is end of discussion.
What happened?
They say those that are in for 9 years without defining what they are doing are building long-suffering relationship. I've not heard this one before. This is an Oscar right there. It's a long-suffering relationship.
Quite interesting. Yeah. So yes. So one important thing to do is define those relationships. It will help you. Okay.
So they want to study. They want to study their present life and afterlife comprehensively
before talking. I can see you're having fun this evening.
I'm having a blast. I'm telling you, I'm having a blast.
Oh my goodness.
But I know it's serious. Somebody mentioned in the chat. I think we passed it, and it says it's not easy to get over when you have been served. When you have been served, it's not easy to get over it, and really, it's not. and sorry, I have to use that, my guy, because it's the most recent. You know, when you have been served, it's not the time to be alone. You need a support group. You know, breakfast is not a food that you eat alone. Get people to share it with you.
This particular breakfast.
Don't eat alone. Get people to share with you. So when people share it with you, it will lessen the burden.
Yeah,
right?
I think another thing that is important with this whole breakfast thing, and you see, it is not only when you are in a relationship with someone or dating someone or something that you can get to know about the person. Some people say, I need to get to know if we're meant for each other, and so you go out with the person. Somebody just approaches you and is like, oh, you look really interesting. I'd like to get to know you better. Will you go out with me? No, I will not go out with you. I don't need to go out with you to get to know you or for you to get to know me better.
So how would they know? How would they know?
Be a fellow human being. Talk. I'm
But
not even saying be friends, sir, because you can even find out after the first conversation that this person cannot be your friend. There's nothing in common. So what are we friending?
Okay, wait first. But we are going to go here, right? But let me just pause at this point and say, if you're enjoying this discussion and there's some people that maybe have some real experiences you want to share that we can deliberate on and get some salient points out of it, please invite them, share the link. The link is there. If you're watching on YouTube, the link is there. Just click the share button. That will be like arrow. Click the share button and then share the link, put it on your status, put it in the groups, and let's join this conversation. Let's get more experience. Let's get more, because
and if you're while you're listening, if you hear anything really valuable, any solid points, feel free to just type it in the comments so that others who come later on can learn from you. You can help them.
Somebody says situationship is the same as entanglement. You see, that's some part of the problems with relationships. People, the big English is causing most of the problem too in relationship. Entanglement. They say, how's your relationship going? It's complicated. Those are the problems. Are you guys going? Are you guys dating? Well,
can't really say. You know, it's
really.
Like actually,
it's like,
but really, and well, it's like.
Let's simplify things for ourselves. Keep it simple. You can't get it wrong, right? Yeah. Now, it's possible to meet someone in 5 minutes and you get the person. And in fact, that's some of the things that we're trying to do. Get to meet people and have open, honest conversations, right? Just conversations. Level 1. Level 2, you want to take the acquaintanceship to the next level. We begin to instigate communication. You chat me, I chat you. You see me, I see you. You face me, I face you. Relationship is building, Abi. But in the process of building the relationship, what are the things that you are finding out about the other person for which you need to move to the next level?
Thank you. What are you finding out? That's the thing. And that's why I say you don't need to get into a relationship to start to know. Start by just a normal discussion, a normal conversation. You know, in 5 minutes, in 10 minutes of talking to someone, there's certain vibes the person will just emit.
Vibes.
This one is no go. You know, maybe it's just how somebody passed and mistakenly shoved him or her, and the way the person just turns and looks like, who is that one that just pushed me and they were passing? You know, you just sense the attitude and you see how they're responding to somebody else. It doesn't, you know, they're just certain things that you will see. But you don't need to get into a relationship to know that. Just first talk, first ask questions, have normal discussion. Just normal discussion. What's happening? The weather, your office, your school, your life, your siblings, your church, your whatever. Just have normal conversation and read between the lines. Some of those discussions will help you know that you don't even have any business talk in friendship, talk less of a relationship. By the time you have been friends, right, for some time, and you have seen, okay, there are some places of interest, things in common, similar values and beliefs and principles that you live by and so on, you know, and then you see that, and it's not just that you have it in common, no, and you like the person. You have to be checking the other side too.
See, Bobby, there's
Is this person
there's something
feeling
you're
what
saying.
I'm feeling?
Yes, there's something you're saying.
Does he feel the way I feel?
That place
or
where
is
you
this
say,
one-sided?
that place where you say you are friends for some time. That sometimes some people don't. While we are talking the discussion, let me just leave this one out there, and let me leave it out there. Sex has a way of complicating simple things. Friendship is simple. Sex complicates it because the moment you have sex with someone, you're not really sure what you are inside, except you people just want to be friends with benefits. Friends with benefits. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. You know, I'm laughing. I just saw something Ugochukwu wrote. He said some have their relationship status on Facebook as controversial.
It's a controversial relationship. So, but when you are served, why do you start crying then?
Yeah. So honestly, what you said about sex is important. It complicates things. It's just like you were trying to check something, and then all of a sudden somebody just put a smoke screen, in front of you, or somebody just threw a blanket over you. But the blanket is perfumed so nicely. The fragrance is just beautiful. So you're just like, oh, this smells so nice. This is so fantastic. It's so beautiful. But you cannot see anything. But you just assume, oh, it smells so nice. It should be good.
It should be good.
And all of a sudden, you're not seeing it again. And then because of how nice it smells and the whole feeling that you experience, you just feel like, oh, there's something more. We're really close, He really loves me. She really, we're really into each other. You went in physically does not mean you are into each other enough to live a life together.
Baby, let me just, there's something you say there.
What?
Say they went into each other. They went into.
And the going in doesn't mean that you are close enough or that things are good enough for you people to go into marriage together. You may have gone in other places.
Baby, they entered some things together so that when they came out, I don't want to say it. Yes, when there are some things that when you go in together, as the moment you enter into each other and you have not put a ring on it and married it, when you come out, you'll be seeing things.
Yeah. It's like it's a smoke screen, it's a blur, it's a blur, it's confusing, it numbs your senses.
See, when you go into if you are looking for healthy relationships must come with clear eye.
Clear.
See, that's how I shine my eye. That's how you have to shine your eye for healthy relationship. If not, you'll be crying a lot. I asked the question at the beginning: is there a way to avoid heartbreak? Way number one: shine your eyes. You have to know, what are you entering this relationship with? First, what ship is this? Situationship, friendship, colleagueship, acquaintanceship, courtship, whatever.
Yeah.
Define it. That's the first thing my wife said. Define it. Define the ship. Then clear your eyes, shine your eyes, wear glasses. Thank you.
Yes.
Share for me. It says wear glasses. My wife, there's a video on this on my wife's channel. On this channel, just go to her when you go to her this thing. And by the way, if you're just joining us and you have not subscribed, please click subscribe, click like, click share, and just share it. But see, wear love glasses. My wife has a video there called Love Glasses. It's for singles. He says she has a quote. She says love is blind. But marriage
opens
the eyes. So if you enter blindfolded, when you say I do, you will find out exactly what you did.
Yes, Jimoski said something important there. He says our generation believes if sex is not involved in the relationship, it will not be strong and serious. So let me tell you something about sex, okay? And I don't know if, well, I'm hoping that most people.
Baby, please, before you say that thing, something just came to my mind. Jimoski, let me tell you the truth. If you have sex in the relationship before you have gone anywhere, if you have sex in the relationship before marriage, it will be strong and it will be serious. That's the truth. The relationship will be strong, and it will be serious. That's why when the heartbreak happens, it will also be strong. and I'll be serious. My point is, once sex comes into the equation, the consequence is usually strong and serious.
Yeah.
Baby, please go on.
Yeah, sex has a job that it's supposed to do, and that job is supposed to be done in a marriage setup, okay? So that it helps you to sustain your marriage. And you know, this is supposed to happen after the marriage, not before. So that by that point, you have already done the screening and you have done the checking and you have identified who the right person is, and you are now married to that person. Okay? Now, sex comes in to be like the sealant of something good, things that are compatible. Just put the glue
The
there.
cement.
Okay.
But if you don't know what sealant
Yes.
is, cement.
Yes,
Cement.
and it has its role to play in a marriage, okay, to keep it going. Now the thing is, if you indulge in sex before marriage, okay, yes, you're going to have the fun of it, it's going to feel cool and all of that, but then it starts to, if you guys were really not suited for each other,
to be covering your eyes.
Yes, you can't see clearly. You see, and for the part that's really, especially in university, you see this a lot. You see young girls who just left home. Now mom is not there, dad is not there, and they feel like I can do whatever I want. They now see one guy who sweet talks them, sleep with the guy, and then next
Sweet
thing,
talks.
yeah. So next thing, they're behaving like somebody that is high or something. They as if there's no control anymore. They're just going back again and again and again, and they feel so indebted to, like, this guy owns them. It's as if all of a sudden he has a hold.
Yeah, because he's very strong.
If he says come, they come. If he says I want to see you, they rush there. If he says I'm not in the mood to see you, they cry. And it's just
so why do you give the
yourself
control to your destiny to somebody else?
Yeah.
Why do you do that?
Especially when the person has not committed to take care of you, when the person has not committed to be there for you in sickness, in health,
Ugo is dropping it like it's hot.
What do you say?
Ugo.
He said it's the last to be eaten in a relationship, usually after marriage. Yes. If you eat it before the right time, there is 99% that you will vomit it.
The probability is high that you vomit. Is high. You will throw up.
Yeah, I see sex before marriage, plenty complications. First of all, guilt. Some people, because you know that you're not supposed to do it, so the guilt is there, and you're dealing with, how am I going to deal with this? Oh, I feel so bad right now, I shouldn't have done that. But yeah, the guilt is there, number one. The complication of unwanted pregnancy is there, right? Because, and then even if you say, okay, I'm the lady, I want the pregnancy, what if the guy doesn't want the pregnancy? And then he starts to put you under pressure to go and do an abortion or something.
What if the baby doesn't want the pregnancy?
And then what are the health challenges? What are the conditions around the pregnancy if you actually do get pregnant? And some people, it even affects your academics, your schooling, and then
it affects your life in general.
You don't have a stable family to raise the child in. There's so much that you don't need. The sexually transmitted infections and so on.
The complications, like you say, the complications are many, right? So we just to leave it out there and then we'll move on.
Yes,
the complications are many, and we can't even be listing them. But chief on what we're trying to bring out in this heartbreak and even in this season that we are, is the fact that once you throw in sex, the probability that you will enter, that your eyes will be clear, is, in fact, once you throw in sex, it is very low. Once you throw in sex in a relationship before marriage, it clouds your eyes.
It clouds your judgment. Everything they do is right, or you find a way of explaining it away.
Please, Tony, you mentioned that Okafor's law will now be activated. Please, Tony, please help.
What is Okafor's law?
Please explain to us. I would like to know it. It's a law I would like to please explain Okafor's law, to us. And whenever you come, if you're still, please just explain it to us. We would like to know. Thank you, Bobby. So please go on, because you were on a roll, from defining the relationship to saying to understanding what not to put in the relationship, to understanding that when you throw in the complications of sex, it's a red flag. Sorry, it stops you from seeing the red flag. So in the process of checking out the relationship, right? In the process of checking out just friends, you mentioned friends, and I want to say there's the place of just being friends. I mean, guys, talk to us. Is it that friends don't exist again? As in friend, I'm just your friend, I'm a guy. I'm just your friend, I'm a guy. As in, that doesn't exist again. Something must enter something.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, so you don't need to start jumping into relationships. You can just be friends and get to know somebody, okay? And then okay, this is something that is likely going to work, right? Because I've checked this, I've checked that, I've checked this, I've done my due diligence, and I feel like there is a possibility. It's not casting confidence. In fact, there's no guarantee. But from all that you have checked, the different ways to check, it looks like this person can be a likely spouse in the future. And you're going in, why are we going into relationships in the first place? Right? Because you're heading somewhere. It's not relationship for the sake of being in relationships. Okay, if not, then it's now becoming something else, like friends with benefits. You're not planning to get married, but you just want the person. Some people will be in a relationship because they need you to serve them in some way or the other. So some ladies may be in a relationship with a guy because they need a guy in their lives to do the things that men do. Maybe help them to take the car to the mechanic for servicing when it's time, change their tire, set up some things in the house, some tech stuff and so on, because they feel, okay, this is what my father used to do. My father is not here. I need a man to do it. And they agree to go out with you. And you're there feeling like, oh, I'm in a relationship. Meanwhile, she just needs a handyman. Because make sure you're not a handyman.
So
and ladies, some of you are busy cooking food. Cooking food and cleaning. Cooking food, cleaning.
Maybe that place you are going. That place you're going.
No, it's true. What are you really there for? What are you heading towards? Wherever you are, you should know that you are on a journey. You're going somewhere. And you guys are both aligned on where we are going. Okay. So if you now find out that I am going here, the person is going there, why are you even bothering with the relationship? So these are things you need to be clear about. And sometimes they may not say it out clearly, but you need to be wise. Probe. There are things that not that the person said it clearly to you. There's certain things people do to you, and this person, for instance, hates me. They don't have to come out and say, hey, you know what? And you say what? And they say, I hate you. And then you say, oh, really? No, you should have seen the signs that this person hates you from different things they did, how they acted, how they spoke, and so on. In the same way, you should be paying attention to those little details that will help you know, is this person in this with me for the long term, or are they just using me in the short term to satisfy whatever need it is that they have? And ladies, don't allow somebody to use you to satisfy his sexual urges. Why are you even doing that? Why are you making yourself so cheap? So you sleep with Mr. A, he will break up with you. Move on to Mr. B, sleep with him, he breaks up with you. By the time you eventually get to your husband, you usually talk about it like an apple. They've beaten chunks out of you and you're just there. The stalk is there, and then you see the brown, because when you cut an apple, it turns brown, and then you just see brown. There's some green left or some red left. That's just an awful sight. Come on, you can do better. What happened to being whole? What happened to being complete? What happened to being pure? What happened to being that perfect fruit, that perfect gift to your husband when the time eventually comes? Do you have to just sell yourself like that?
Okay, so let me put a little twist on this, Barbie. This thing you're talking about, it brings to mind about the concept of value. What do young people recognize what their value is? Do young people recognize what their value is? Right? Just what Shion Fumi says, I think this generation feels that if they don't agree to date the person, they will lose the person and the friendship. That's a good point, Barbie. That's
so now let's ask. Excuse me. If you lose the person and the friendship, will you die?
you have to go there.
No, what is it to you? Does your life depend on the person and the friendship? Do you have to subject yourself to a friendship that comes at a cost? Friendship, this thing is mutual, what they call it, a mutually beneficial relationship. What am I doing for you? What are you doing for me? What value are you adding to my life? What value am I adding to your life? I don't have to pay by selling my body or giving you my body, which is a prized possession. Do you understand? I don't have to. That's what kind of friendship is that you need to maintain it with sex, for instance. You don't have to do that. And if the person says, you know what, I'm walking away because you are not sleeping with me, then bye-bye.
Good riddance
Goodbye.
to bad
Because
rubbish.
it already shows you that you guys are not on the same page. You people are not in the same place as far as your values are concerned. If you are thinking that sex before marriage, for instance, is wrong, and the person is saying you have to have it before marriage, you're already not aligned. What are you doing with the person? Move on. You're already not aligned. But if it is that you are thinking the same thing, and then by all means, you people should go and have your feel and live with the consequences, because the fact is there are consequences.
And while we're on that subject, I know we have been talking to singles, we've been talking to singles, and even though it's Valentine season, yeah. I'll talk a bit to married and stuff like that. But
what are you going to say?
Wait now, be calming down. I'll talk a bit to married, but while we're still on the single avenue, it's good to understand that if people walk away, right, they're not meant to stay.
I like the way you put it. If people walk away, they're not meant to stay. I like the rhyme. Oh yes.
Because if they're meant to stay, they will find their way back to you. See, listen, especially if they walk away, not that if you use bad character and send them away, they're two different things. If they walk away, sometimes guys walk away because we're not sure, we're not certain, or we get cold feet, right? Walk away. Different reasons why guys walk away, but if they walk away, they're not meant to stay. And the worst thing you can do as a lady is that a guy walks away and then you are pursuing him to go and say, come back, take me back. Let's see, as a guy, let me tell you the truth. If you beg to come back, your value has dropped. In the eyes of the guy, live story, your value has dropped.
So what, he will not be marrying you out of pity or something, or taking you back out of pity?
That's if he eventually marries you.
So that's a messy relationship.
Yeah, exactly. That's messy relationship. It's just
I just pitied her.
So that's why when you come and say he served me he broke up with me after everything I did for him, and him be saying me that I pitied you. Don't do that to yourself.
Yeah, you have value.
And in this season, what we're speaking to is that guys, girls, come on. What's your market value? We're not saying be playing hard to get. No, we're just saying know what you carry. Yeah. Know your stuff.
Yeah.
Know your stuff. Know your worth.
Yeah, know your worth.
Somebody walks away. You need to get something that I learned years ago. It's called the grace of goodbye. See, you have the grace of goodbye. Somebody walks away. Bye.
It was nice knowing you.
It was nice knowing you. You taught me a few things in life.
Yes.
You also taught me a few things in life. Yeah. Bye. Do you understand that you have to know that? You know. So as we begin to try to round up. Is Tony back? Tony, it was Tony that told us about Okafor's law. I'm interested in finding out. Oh, Tony, please tell us what is Okafor's law. Please define it for us. Put it in the chat. I'm interested in finding out what it is. You know, as we begin to round up, I want to talk to married people, right? I know Valentine is the season of love and mushy and all of that. But you heard my wife say she can't remember when she did Valentine. But what she's not also telling you is that I don't only love on Valentine.
Yes,
I love always.
That's right. You're feeling yourself.
Oh my goodness!
But that's the fact. That's the fact. So we try to show love and care every day. And you know, love is a decision. No, those who are married know that love is a decision. People who are not yet married think that love is an emotion. Love is a decision.
It's a decision.
You wake up every day and you decide, today I will love you.
Today I will love you.
Yes.
And you wake up sometimes. By the time you check the person's face, the love is to stay out of their way. That's you loving them right there. It's a decision. You just decide, I won't get in front of you. But let me tell you one. This evening, by the time I came in, I saw my wife's face one way. I chose to love her by staying out of
By
her
leaving
way.
me alone.
By leaving her. That is a very
Oh
important
my
this thing. So by the time I aligned properly, and when the face changed, in fact, when she was coming to ask me, do you want what will you eat? I said, anything you give me. Because I'm very picky. So, but that was not the time. That was not the time to be checking what I'm picking. Do you understand? You know.
So that you won't end up going to buy food from the nearest restaurant.
Ugo says, Pastor, men has integrity to protect, to not know. Oh, I agree completely.
Yes.
Why I use men is because I'm a guy speaking, right? You know, if it was my wife talking, she will also tell you that guys, you can't sell yourself cheap. And there was something that Jimoski said it. Jimoski said what he said, and this I want to use it to answer to what you said, Ugo. Jimoski said, do you know there are some ladies, if you don't make sex move on them, they will feel bad and they will think you don't love them. That's the truth. Guys, you can't let ladies goad you into something you don't want to get into. You have to drive the relationship. You cannot be the conductor.
Yeah.
And
yes, and it's also a good place for you to know if that person is expecting that as a show of love from you. I go back to values. Your values are not aligned. So it's either you have to do training or lecture to bring the person up to the level where they are saying that that's not the way to show love. Okafor's law, as explained in a Nollywood movie, explained that once you had sexual experience with someone, the probability of becoming a sex object with the person is very high. Thank you very much for sharing.
Noted. I'm taking notes.
Yes,
I'm writing this down. Okafor's law.
You've given us value, Tony. Thank you so much.
Thank you. As
Okafor's law.
I'm writing this one down. It's noted. No, don't be surprised if you see me talking somewhere and I quote it. If people don't understand it, I'll just reference you as defined by Tony.
Yeah, it's important.
It's important. So as we begin to tie it up, please, if you haven't shared it, share to your friends. Subscribe to this channel because we are always dishing out the goods. We know they hide mouth, but yeah, we go talk as it be, you know. And for couples, let's show love every day. Every day. Not just on Valentine's Day. On Valentine's Day. In fact, this time, even though we typically don't, do Valentine's celebrations, but this particular year, I think I should tell my husband we need to go somewhere. Just have. Are you doing a public declaration? What's this now? We didn't discuss this in private. Aren't we speaking freely? Okay. Oh, it's true. It's true. Maybe just lunch or dinner or something, so that we can say, okay, we did Valentine's Day. But love every day and decide every day to love, decide every day to forgive, decide every day to give the person a second chance, a third chance, decide every day, to overlook some of those small little things that they do that just unnerve you, sometimes talk about it, sometimes just overlook it, just cut them some slack, okay? Sometimes men are struggling. What are you struggling about? Baby, come on. Let's be real here. Men are struggling. Every brother in the house, just raise your hand. Raise your hand and do what? Men are struggling. I was driving the other day with one of my staff. What our eyes were seeing, ladies, you people are not helping us. And brothers, this Valentine, you will still see things. Do you understand? Maybe the things you'll be seeing will be from those who are desperately trying to secure a Valentine. Last minute. That means security. Do you understand? But you know the truth. The thing is, those of them that are desperados, man, they're working hard. That's why we are saying, you that are looking for a healthy relationship, work at it too. Right? Work at it too, because those guys are working hard. It's not everything you just be seeing, you just be shouting blood of Jesus, blood of Jesus. People think you are praying. It's not praying, you're just trying to save yourself first. Do you understand? I'm driving. Just imagine people that are working now that are going to see that thing. Okay, the ladies have heard. To whom it concerns, please. Thank you very much. Please help the guys now. Help us. Ladies, I follow an appeal. Please help the guys. Let's do better. And please, let's celebrate the guys. Guys, you guys. You guys are trying, especially guys that come to Common Sense for relationship. You are doing well because we hit it out here hard. Thanks, and please, if possible, buy eyeglasses. Thanks, Tony. Thanks, everyone. Love glasses. Check love glasses. And you also find the previous video we did on heartbreak. Yes. On heartbreak. Yeah, that was a good one. So just check on it. When you go to Anietie Bature, just search heartbreak. You'll see it. You'll see the videos there. Please share please like,
share.
please comment. And if you have questions, something that is burdened you, right? You can leave it on our Facebook.
Yeah.
You can leave it on this video, on the comments.
Yes.
We are checking all the time. We are listening, and we have an open mind, right? On this show, we don't do judgment.
Yes.
And even we know they do. I not be lawyer, right? I'm just a guy that is out to help other guys do love right.
Yeah. Thank you
know?
so much, everyone, for being with us today.
And part of helping to do love right is that my favorite book. It's called Husband Material. Husband Material is a book written by my wife. It's a book and a workbook together. The link will be in this video when we end the recording. Please get the book. Guys, get the book. It's not just a book for ladies. It's a book for guys. It's a book for ladies. It's a book that helps you do relationship right. Whether you are married, whether you're not married. In fact, some married people have been leaving reviews after reading the book to say, oh, if I knew this, I would have done this differently. But even knowing this now, I know something that so it brings perspective, it brings perspective. For single guys, get it right before you jump in.
Yes,
if not, you'll be in a hurry to jump out. But by then, you know why they call it wedding band? Thou are bound.
All right, guys. We are keeping it real here. Okay, thank you so much for being with us this evening. And remember, common sense is not so common. Bye. Take care. Have a good week.
Thank you.